Welcome to Brave Healer Productions. We are waking the world up to what's possible for healing, one brave word at a time. Welcome, everyone. Happy Poetry Month. Yay! I'm Laura DeFranco, the CEO of Brave Healer Productions, where we have a mission to wake the world up to what's possible for healing, one brave word at a time. And I also happen to be the lead author of 100 Poems and Possibilities for Healing. I gathered 30 of my fellow poets and I asked them to share their brave words and poetry, and it is just a yummy, brilliant, amazing book. DebS is here today to help me celebrate Poetry Month and do all of that. Welcome, Deb.
Thank you very much. Very exciting.
I'm excited that you're here today, and thanks for helping me celebrate one of my biggest passions. You guys, Deb S. gains huge pleasure from helping others release their stuck energy. She would love to empower you to discover your supersonic self in her facilitation sessions involving various methods that helped her through her darkest times. She works from the premise, I rise, you rise, we rise together. I love that, Deb. So let's get right to it. I would love it if you would read your poem for us today. What's this one called?
Okay, well, I thought the poem that I would read today, out of the four that are in my chapter, is the one which is all about gratitude. So it was the end of my journey, and it's called Rejoice.
Awesome. Mike is all yours.
What if I'd actually done it, performed and executed my thought? Think of all the things I would have missed and all the grief my end would have brought. I would never have learned the sheer love between a human being and her dog. I'd never have explored holistically and released myself from my fog. No more time to just sit and ponder, nor meditate in the peace and the quiet. Bend and stretch my body in yoga or wonder whether I should go on a diet. I wouldn't have broken an arrow with my neck, nor walked over extremely hot coals. Listened to amazing live music, nor achieved a single one of my goals. I wouldn't have had any more fun, or know what pottery clay's like to hold, or laughed when it fell off the wheel, or known what it would be like to get old. I would never have found my rock who has stood beside me while I grew, or realized that everything is energy, despite a feeling that I already knew. I would never have performed on a stage or even believed that I ever could. I would never have become a tree hugger each time I walked through the wood. I wouldn't have met my nephews and niece, felt their soft, downy heads with my finger, or seen them grow up over the years because I decided to no longer linger. I would never have been able to travel or to have made so many new friends, nor recognized my own programming and understood all my life trends. I could moan about the weather no more, or watch starlings murmur in the sky, be fascinated by all aspects of nature, or to complain about time flying by. I wouldn't have seen our planet and its people be knocked off their feet, to be reminded to be grateful for all that I have and learn to dance to a different beat. I would no longer see the sunrise or set, or gaze in awe at the silvery moon, or guess shapes in the clouds as they floated by, because I would have been gone too soon. I would never have written any poems or discovered that I do have a voice, or realized that our journey has a start and an end, but in between, that we all have a choice. I used many energy therapy skills to release and then finally let go of my deepest, darkest beliefs and fears, to allow myself to live life in full flow. I suppose my recovery truly began the second I chose to stay on that road. An awakening seemed to occur within, though it appeared to be written in code. I wouldn't have had this enforced chance to wonder what living really means, to look at my reflection in the mirror and decide I must follow my dreams. Writing this poem was a privilege to show how gratitude can overcome fear, because that day I did not kill myself. I can rejoice because I am still here.
Oh, you're giving me the goosebumps, Deb. What a beautiful poem. Thank you for that gift. It's such a gift to hear you all read these out loud. The book is amazing, but when you put the vibration of your voice to the words, it's other level, right?
Yeah, I totally agree.
One of the most important things I wanted to share with people about the why behind my poetry is that it helped me connect with this deeper place. It's beyond the rules of writing. It feels like an expression of soul to me, and I feel it in yours and all of our authors in the book. Would you share a little bit more about the why behind your poetry and your process? What do you want people to know about this?
Yeah, of course. I mean, initially there was no why. Following the split up with my husband, subsequent divorce, and the depression, I just found that I was in such a deep, dark place. I was in a black hole. But in that black hole, there was a void. And I feel that that's where I've never written poems before, not to my recollection. All of a sudden, these words and poems just flowed. They just came out of me. So there was no why to start off with. And it was only when I wrote my memoir, The Day I Didn't Kill Myself, that I realized that those poems were actually a reflection and expression of where I'd been and each stage of the journey. And then it was only when I wrote this chapter for this beautiful book that I had this other realization that certain poems actually reflected the stages of my healing. And that's why I called each of the poems Realization, Release, Rescue and Recovery, and then finally Rejoice. So now my why is to help people who may be going through something similar, that I felt it was the end of my life. I really did. But I'm proof it wasn't. And an expression of any kind, whether it's singing, dancing, writing, poetry, prose, some sort of expression is a huge, huge healer. And that's what I want to actually help people shift their energy. So even if it's just a tiny little bit, whether it's through writing, whether it's through energy therapies, however I can help, if I can help just one person, then I'll be happy.
Oh, yes. And no doubt you have done that even by sharing about that process for you. And thanks for being brave about that and the way that you write about this difficult topic. So, you guys, in the book, 100 Poems and Possibilities for Healing, I asked each of our poet authors to include a prompt for you, our readers, to enjoy. So, if you don't already have your notebook and pen today, you might want to go pause this and go grab it, right? Because, Deb, I'd love for you to read the prompt from the book.
Of course I will. Here's the book. It's fantastic. So, having read or now heard Rejoice, which includes some of the things that make me glad that I'm still here, I'd like you to think about all the things that you have to rejoice about, no matter how big or small, and write them down. And it doesn't matter how recent or how long ago. And then keep it with you. Keep that bit of paper with you. Continue it whenever something springs to mind. And just remember, keep it as a reminder of how precious and how wonderful life is, because it is. But sometimes we need reminding of that.
We do. We need daily reminders. Thank you for that. All right, you guys, it's your turn. Take some time to write on that prompt today. See what moves through. Don't censor yourself. And the tip about keeping it with you is a really good one. I did similar things in the beginning of my process where I would put it on my notes on my phone. I would have a little piece of paper in my fanny pack. I would have it with me so that I could remind myself. Deb, thank you so much for what you do in the world and for being here today to share it with everyone.
Oh, thank you. It's a pleasure.
So, you guys, if you maybe have a poem that you'd like to share, we have the Warrior Love Poetry Facebook page, and I do take submissions for that. So, check on down below, okay? And you can find out more about it. And just, I want you to understand this is so much more than a book of poems. I'm going to share the book with you here. It is a generous community waiting for you to reach out, including poet, author, healers like Deb, right? So drop down under the video where I have her hooked up with her website. You can explore all of the amazing things that she is up to. Maybe you're ready to share your poetry or other brave words with the world in a bigger way. We're going to be doing volume 2 of this book, you guys. So find information down below about that, about how to apply. And lastly, today, everyone, remember your words change the world when you're brave enough to share them. So it's time to be brave. See you next time, everyone.
Bye.
Thank you, Deb.